How long does it take to get results? Well, it all depends on the individual. Um, Weight loss to weight gain to strength gain, it's all individual. I can sit here and try to put timelines on it, but really, however long you think it's going to take, double it and then probably double that. Now, I'm not saying that's the extremes that you're going to have to go through, but a lot of people totally underestimate the ability for the body to store body fat and not want to lose it. They also underestimate how stubborn the body is when it comes to gaining muscle. On the flip side, there are the genetically gifted people that their body fat just consumes the fat right where they want it. And then people just gain muscle like there's no tomorrow. And then you have the hard gainers and the average people. So really, it just comes down to your individual genetics and then being realistic with your goals and how your body responds after the first 3 months. I think you should have a generalization about how long it's going to take you to obtain your goal.
To an extent. I mean, I feel like 3 months is a good like starting point. But like for instance, you thought, oh, once I hit this amount of weight, I'm gonna look how I want to look. I'm gonna have my abs, and then it took longer, and then it took longer. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't really know.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I just said.
But you're saying after like give it about.
After 3 months, it will give you a good indication to let you know how long it's going to take from there for how your body responds to the training and dieting.
Mm.
So don't expect to get your results in 3 months, but within 3 months, you'll know from there about how long it's going to take to get your results, is what I was saying.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but for me, like when I hear results, I'm just thinking of like the whole entire thing. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm meaning is like take into consideration, like if you lose in the first 3 months, you lose an average of 2.5 pounds a week. And it comes off of your back, your shoulders, your arms, your calves, your thighs, but it doesn't come off of your stomach at all. And the goal is to get abs. Like me, my body will pull fat from literally everywhere but my stomach. It will pull fat from my stomach the very to the bitter end. It doesn't want to pull it from my stomach. Then there's other guys out there that the first place it seems to go is their stomach, but then they have a tremendous amount of back fat. Their legs are very soft and smooth. They have chubby looking legs, they have chubby looking arms, but they have a six pack. So, depending on your genetics and what your goals are and what you're trying to obtain, like my goal isn't just getting abs, it's to compete in bodybuilding. So I need the whole entire physique needs to look correct, not just one thing or the other. But for me, getting the abs seems to be like that's going to be the very last step as far as it goes for me getting into shape, because everything else wants to come down except for my stomach. So looking at the way my genetics play, my legs grow, they hold their size. My arms normally are the first thing to lose size when I start doing a cut and I go into a deficit. I'll start losing my back thickness and my arm size. First two things to go. And then my legs maintain their size and I lose all the fat on my lower body first. And then my upper body starts to go.
My stomach is definitely the last place I wants to take too. We both have not the best genetics in that aspect because I'm like, come on, like how have I lost so much weight and and my stomach still looks so bad.
Yeah, and that's what I'm meaning. Like it takes longer than what most people think it takes to get through results. Now, if your goal is to get down to a certain body weight, you could pretty much get that dialed in perfectly. If you're like, my goal is just to lose weight. My goal is just to lose weight. I want to lose 50 pounds. So I want to lose 1 pound a week for the next 50 weeks, and then I'm going to hit my goal. That's totally doable. Some weeks you might lose a little more. Some weeks you might lose a little less, but then you can adjust the following week to make up or to compensate for the previous week.
Kind of
That's
averages out to one.
that's
Yeah.
very easy to do, right? That's not a hard goal to get. Um, but when it comes to an image, my arms need to be this big, my chest needs to be this broad, my shoulders need to be this wide, my back needs to be this thick, my stomach needs to be this small, my legs need to have this much sweep, and I need to have my body fat down.
Right.
That's a totally different thing that we're talking about, right? And that's what we're talking about whenever I'm talking about like goals and like results or how long it's going to take. Now that's my mindset. I'm not saying that's everybody and it should be everybody's, but when I'm talking about my goal specifically, that's the biggest issue for me is like my belly fat and my back fat are the two things that just are like, nah, we're here, man. Like we're gonna be here to the end, ride or die.
Yeah, hitting a target weight, I feel like you said, is easier because I was like, oh, I want to hit 125. I can hit 125 without like a specific part of my body losing the weight, right? Versus like I want to have abs. I don't know what weight it's going to take me to get to that or how long it's going to take me to get to abs because I don't get to pick where the weight comes off. So,
Right, exactly. And there's a lot of people out there like you're 5'5", and there's a lot of girls out there. They're like, I don't want to be below 140, 140 skinny. It's like, yeah, but most of the girls that are like in phenomenal shape that are 5'5", they're like 95 pounds, 105 pounds, 110 pounds. For a girl to be 125, 130 with the abs, she is monstrous. I mean, look at how small the structure is for a 5'5" female. The frame is like the muscle mass is like, wow, she is stacked and jacked and ripped and tan. Amazing. So when there's a lot of girls out there to get the concept of like, oh, well, 130 is too skinny. It's like, well, what kind of 130 are we talking about? Are we talking just like, I want to be 130 for health? I want to be 130 just so I have easier mobility.
I could just say I'm 130.
Or I want to be 130 because I want to be fit and I want to be ripped, because that's a totally different animal.
Right.
Depends on your goals is how hard it's going to be able to get. Just like gaining strength and size. You can only synthesize so much protein a day, a week, a month to put on so much muscle mass. Training helps. Training correctly helps better. Eating helps. Eating correctly helps more, right? Taking supplements help. But at the end of the day, your body can only grow so fast. So the results come very slowly. Like, it's not an overnight thing. Like, it's not the thing that makes strength so impressive and physique so impressive. When you see someone that has a look, or you see someone that just has like that strength to them, it took time. It wasn't done in a week, a month. And most of the time it's not even done in a year, let alone 2 years. Most of the time you see these very impressive people, it's like, oh, that's like 5 to 10 years worth of dedication and results. When's the last time you spent 5 to 10 years eating and dieting religiously, to get those results?
Right.
It takes
Definitely.
a while.
It does. And it's crazy. It feels like it takes forever to get those results, but man, you can get big so quick.
Yeah, you can get fat so
That's
quick.
what I mean
Yeah.
by big, not like muscular big, because obviously that takes just as much time as into cutting, right? Like it's a different evil.
Yeah, and we try to talk about this in another one. It's like you can't rush the weight gain like you can't rush the weight loss. So like,
You can rush it, but it's gonna be the wrong weight.
right, exactly. What I mean, like if you're trying to rush get big and you're trying to overeat to get big, you're going to get fat, and it's going to be the wrong kind of big, and then you're going to have to reduce all that body fat, which is going to be a nightmare. And then if you rush the cardio, you're going to lose too much weight too fast. You're going to go in too big of a deficit, and then what's going to end up happening is you're going to look the wrong kind of lean, right? You're going to look skinny. You're going to look not the ideal look, especially if you're going for like physique or image. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody. Again, guys, we're speaking in the terms of bodybuilding. And I have to be careful of my wording because I would select different words for this, but there's sensitivity out there that I'm not allowed to say exactly what I want to say. So I'm just going to kind of like skate on the outside of this and make sure that you guys kind of pick up what I'm putting down. And what I'm getting at basically is you can cardio your muscle away, and you can undereat, and you can look terrible at the end of the day. Whenever you try to rush the weight loss, you rush all your muscle too. You could lose 50-50, a pound per pound fat for muscle. I'm guilty of this. Like, let me do a ton of cardio and eat very little and then lose a bunch of weight, but now I'm looking on the wrong side of my image. I'm not looking big and thick and juicy. I'm looking skinny and scrawny.
I want to look skinny.
No, you don't want to look scrawny though.
Oh, I didn't say scrawny. I said skinny. See?
Yeah.
See where I didn't say that other S word?
Yeah, and like I said, because like you can lose a lot of weight, but you can't. There's only so much cardio you could do in a day before it becomes counterproductive, and you start dipping into muscle mass. There's only so low you could go in your calories per day before you start dipping into your muscle mass. It's just the way it is. And that's what I mean. If you do too much cardio, you're going to end up burning muscle tissue. You eat too little, you're going to end up burning muscle tissue. So you can't rush the weight loss if you're trying to hold on to the muscle mass. Like, you can't rush the weight gain if you want to stay lean and have a muscular physique and overeat. You're going to end up looking fat. You're going to be a lot stronger. You could put on size, sure, but it's going to be covered and you're never going to see it.
Yeah. I definitely don't have like a weight I want to reach. My goals currently are how I want to look, and I feel like I'm really far away from it. So,
well, that's the best way to go about it, right? The scale is a measurement. It's a tool of measurement to dictate which way your results are going, but it shouldn't be the telltale sign if you're hitting your goal or not. It should be the image. It should be the mirror. It should be your reflection that you're looking at, right? Like, so for me, like I'm 235, and like I know 206 I didn't have abs, and I know at 290 I didn't have 22-inch arms. So I've been on the wrong end of the spectrum in both ways.
Right.
Too skinny and too fat. So it's not a number game for me. It's an image thing. If I end up being 215 but I look how I want to look, fantastic. If I'm 275 and I look the way I want to look, fantastic. Does the scale matter what the numbers are? No, it doesn't. It just matters, am I looking the way I want to look? And when the day finally comes that I step on stage to compete, is my physique paired with who I'm competing against? Like, am I in the right shape and condition to be on stage to compete against those guys, you know?
Right. And for me, when I first started, my first goal was more so for health reasons. My whole full, I can't even say the word, full focus was weight loss to feel better, eating better to feel better. And then now it's more focused on looks, right? Because I feel like I finally lost enough weight where it's like, okay, now I need to focus more on toning up and looking better versus what the scale tells me.
Yeah, for sure. So when I was powerlifting, it was just about being big and strong. I didn't care about anything
Right.
else. And then I got injured, and then I just didn't care for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I got like really unhealthy. So then from there, it was a matter of like, I got to get my health back. So when I was coming down from like 275, 290, it wasn't a matter of like wanting to look a certain way. I just wanted to get healthy and I wanted to feel better. So that's what I did. And then once I got my health back and all my health markers, and I was like perfect health, it's like, okay, now where do I want to go from here?
Right.
Then it's like, I want to compete. But again, like I've been doing this channel for 2.5 years, and I'm still like a year and a half out, possibly two, from being where I want to be. And that's what I mean. Like, this takes time. You cannot rush this. And it's just like, you can look and be like, oh, dude, you're spinning your wheels. You look terrible, or you've gone back and forth, you yo-yo, whatever. But it's like, you can only cut for so long before you start losing muscle mass. You can only bulk for so long before it starts becoming counterproductive and you put on fat. So you have to go through phases back and forth. You could do this main gaining thing and everything else, but the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. So I've done cuts, I've done bulks, I've done cuts, I've done bulks. And every single time I've cut, I've been heavier and leaner. And every time I've bulked, I've been bigger and leaner every single time. So every time I go on a cut, I end up being heavier and leaner. When I bulk, I'm heavier and I'm leaner. So every which way I'm going, I'm moving forward. Like right now, my arms are 18 inches on a cut. This is the biggest they've been at this body weight, at this body fat percentage. So give me another year and a half, 2 years. Where am I going to be from that? I'm only getting better. And the more my fat comes down and the leaner I get, the easier my cuts become. So the more I can focus on size.
Right.
So I can't just all focus on weight loss because I don't want to lose all my mass. Like I did that before and it just didn't work out well. And then I focused too much on bulking that I just get too big. So it's that pendulum. You got to let it swing. And whenever it's time to come back down, you got to let it drop and swing to the other side of the spectrum.
I definitely lost a lot of muscle mass, but I definitely, at the same time, it's like, did I even really have any? Because I was a different.
Well, you did have muscle mass. Everybody does. When you're heavy, your body's going to be able to hold more muscle mass naturally. It's you worked out. It's not like you weren't working out. You had more muscle mass than you have now, but you went on such a hard deficit and you went on such a hard cut that you did lose a tremendous. And this is what I was talking about. If you diet too aggressively, you cardio too aggressively, you do it too long, it becomes counterproductive, and then it starts actually having negative returns. And you got to the point where you started getting negative returns and you were losing a lot of muscle mass with the body fat. You're getting smaller on the scale. The numbers are going down. Your clothes are fitting better. But then you yourself said it. It's like, I'm just looking different, not better, just different.
Well, I wouldn't say now looking at myself, I do feel like I look better,
Of course.
but
How much weight have you lost?
like from the very beginning or since August when I really started hard,
The very beginning.
56 pounds.
Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of weight. There's no way you could look at it and say you look worse.
Right. And then from August to now, 36 pounds.
Yeah. So 36 pounds from August. That's what,
August
24.
18th is when we started. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So it's what,
So,
24, 25 weeks.
so we're getting close to like 6 months.
Yeah. So you're still over, you're around a pound and a quarter, pound and a half per week,
Right.
which is really good weight loss when you do the average on it.
It is. And that's something I feel like I look better, but I still look bad because I now have a different, like, I got the weight loss part down. Now it's the different part of the goal and like toning up
Building
and
muscle.
building muscle and looking good skinny.
Yeah. I always tell everybody whenever people say like, I want to get toned. I was like, you a printer? You looking for toner? You know, like, that's always what goes through my head. But no, so
You know what I mean? I don't
So
want to be
I think
loosey-goosey.
I think the perfect length for a cut and or a bulk is 16 to 20 weeks. I don't think 12 weeks is long enough for a cut or a bulk, depending on where. I mean, okay, let me rephrase.
Depends on how big you are.
Depends on where you are in your training, where you are on your plan. But I think if you give yourself 16 to 20 weeks to cut, you can go further, slower, so you don't lose so much muscle mass. If you give yourself 16 to 20 weeks to bulk, you could gain longer for slower, and then you could get more positive results by not putting on fat and trying to rush the gains. Same thing for doing the cuts. So I think once you hit around that 16 mark, 20 week mark, I think it's a good indication to maybe start pulling back and then changing over to the transition. Like for me, and I know I can sit here and
Rambled.
no ramble. And I was gonna say I know I can sit here and point the finger at myself because I did a 22 week cut. I did a 12 week and then I did a 10 week, and then the holidays hit. And I'm not gonna say I was cutting for those 2 weeks. I was still dieting, still cardioing, still working out, but I wasn't. I was. Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but the mic's cut off. So kind of lost about 4 or 5 minutes of conversation there. But basically, I'm going to wrap it up here. We were saying that like the whole time I've been on these cuts, I haven't been focusing hard on cutting. I've been focusing on bodybuilding, not body shrinking. So the goal was to lose a quarter of a pound to 1 pound a week, and to do it slowly over a longer period of time to maintain as much muscle as I can, if not build muscle while doing this cut. And things have changed up. Like since the beginning of the year, I've added 50 more grams of protein. I've added 30 more carbohydrates. So now I'm sitting at 500 carbohydrates a day, 50 grams of protein a day. But I'm going to go ahead and end this here. We'll pick up the conversation about the diet, how we're dieting, and the way that we're dieting over all the other forms of dieting that we've done, and why this way is the absolute most effective way that I've ever dieted and got the absolute most results out of. Then we'll cover that next time because that's kind of where we were going with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it here and then save that for tomorrow's podcast.
Sounds good. Bye.
All right. Talk to y'all later.